Hello, I'm I'm Tim Rodey, and welcome to a new episode of Grandad Finally Catches Up with the Rest of the World. I want to talk about navigation devices because a couple of years ago I reviewed the Garmin Zumo XT and XT2, and I made the case that a separate dedicated satnav unit is better than strapping your phone to the handlebars, and I still believe that because if you crash, your phone is no longer with you, it's on the bike, and people might nick it, and phones are delicate, they're expensive. And even the best vibration dampener in the world, still, I don't trust it to not screw the camera up on my phone. So, with that in mind, I need to talk about Chinese Apple CarPlay screens. Yes, I'm finally doing a video on Chinese Apple CarPlay screens. Honestly, if you do motorbike YouTube at any level, even my small level, you get, I'm not joking, 2 or 3 emails a week from Chinese Apple CarPlay screen brands. And I ignore them. I have done for the past 5 years. I don't know how many emails that is, but it is genuinely thousands. And then I bought my Multistrada V4 and I wanted a satnav screen. I wanted to test the new Garmin Zumo XT2 that's just come out, and I emailed them and they basically told me to go away. So I thought, well, screw you. I'm gonna try a Chinese CarPlay screen. Let's check it out. First up, this is not an advert for the company that makes this. There will be an affiliate link later on in the video if you do want to buy one. That might give me some kickback. Don't really care if you do or you don't use that, to be honest. This is a review. So this is a review of the Chigee AIO6. And yes, I know that sounds like something young kids get in their hair at school and you have to brush out. It is a 6-inch waterproof Apple CarPlay and Android Auto enabled screen. And it can do all sorts of clever stuff I've not actually used it for. So that Chigee will sell you an optional radar kit to give you blind spot warning to your bike. I've not done that because I've already got that on my bike. They'll also sell you dash cams front and rear to record. I'm not bothered with that because I'm terrified of wiring and I'm a simple man, frankly. I've just used it for Apple CarPlay, for my navigation, to use different nav apps, and also to do my tunes through Spotify in place of my usual Garmin Zumo XT2. Now, size-wise, this is almost exactly the same as a Garmin Zumo XT2. It weighs 365 grams. It's something like IP69K waterproof. I've got that wrong, but it means you can pressure wash it up to 1500 PSI and it won't leak. It's also dust-proof, steam-proof, vibration-proof, and all the rest of it. It's designed to be rugged, to live on your bike, and this mounting that I've got set up here is just temporary. I've got it on a ram mount on my handlebars. It comes with quite a small ball mount, which isn't big enough, so you need to pay 20 quid to Chigee to get a bigger one. I will eventually put it up here. Evotech sells a lovely windscreen mount for it, but it's out of stock, and I needed to get it fitted to the bike so I could use it for my trip. But let me show it to you, because I've talked way too much already. So here it is on my Ducati Multistrada V4 Pikes Peak. This is not necessarily the cheapest thing in the world. It costs £460, and the quick release module that it's sitting on is another £105. And they also do a BMW cradle that lets you use existing GS cradles and things like that. So yeah, the other thing I should point out straight away is that it has a USB-C port on the back under here. I've replaced that with the quick release base. Chigee says you can actually power this using USB if you're not using the camera setup. That's a lie, you can't. I spent hours trying to get this working off a USB socket on my bike and off a USB power bank, off a USB plug at home. It will not turn on unless it's wired into the battery on your bike. I've got this wired into a switched satnav live down there somewhere. You're gonna wanna make sure it's on a switch live so it doesn't drain your battery. And it comes on when you turn your bike on. It does a little screen thing that's gonna be quite dim at the moment. It will brighten up, and it makes a little noise as well. You can get one of these with a SIM card slot called the AIO6 LTE, which is 5G enabled. But anyway, I haven't got that. I've just got the basic one, which has got GPS built in and no telephony. Fires up, you've got this dashboard. It's gone straight to CarPlay. Spoiler alert, it's got CarPlay. It can do tire pressure monitoring. Again, if you buy extra tire pressure things to go on your valve caps, tells you the time, your altitude, all sorts of stuff like that. And it can show you your trip and things like that. You can also get an OBD dongle that plugs into your bike and reads your revs and things like that. I've not bothered with any of that. But yeah, there's loads of data on there about your bike and you can update it, but you have to put an SD card in. So you need to get your screwdrivers out to put the SD card in to update it. So this is just running the basic firmware that it came with. Apple CarPlay works exactly as it does in a car. You Bluetooth your phone to this, and this is genuinely a game changer. This has made me so happy just because it opens up so many different sat-nav apps. So I've been using Google Maps for most of my touring, but I also downloaded an app called Curviga, which I'll talk about in a video that's coming up probably in a few months. That is a bit like Calimoto. It can do curvy routing on fun roads. It's a great way to find outstanding riding roads, even if you're somewhere you don't know. You've got YouTube Music, you've got your normal apps that I've got on my phone. Spotify is the main one. It's nice to be able to browse through your podcasts when you are riding along. And then obviously the sound goes to my Cardo Pack Talk Pro in my helmet. So it's got Apple CarPlay. That is what I bought it for, and that works really, really well. But it's not perfect. As I said, I've been using the Chigee AIO6 for the past 1,200 miles on a tour around France, and it's already become a pretty invaluable part of my riding setup. It's just the flexibility of being able to use whatever navigation app you like on the device that you're most used to using, which is your phone, but then that goes in your pocket, stays with you, and beams to this, which I think is the best of both worlds, isn't it? Between having a dedicated sat-nav unit and your phone wiggling about on a quad lock or something. Other brands are available. So I'm definitely going to keep it, and I'm definitely going to use it in place of my Zumo XT2, because it's just a better device. Just having Google Maps, I don't know if you're like me, but I love just spending my time going around Google Maps in France or wherever, saving little POIs, place I want to go to, roads I want to ride, some custom routes. That's all there straight on this from your phone. And frankly, that's all I need is my phone up here, but without actually being my phone. Now, obviously there are other navigation apps I've not tried yet. I would love to try this on my Tenere using something like Osmand apps, which is kind of like an off-road trail riding app for doing green laning. The downsides of this device though are that it does need to be hardwired in. As I said, USB doesn't work, and that does mean I'm going to find it quite hard to chop and change between this bike and my Tenere without spending a load more money and getting a hardwired setup on my T7 as well. So yes, I can physically move the unit between the handlebars, but all the wiring loom and stuff is unique to the Chigee. So I can't just go and quickly dump it on my Tenere without setting that bike up. So it's not that flexible. If you've got lots of bikes, you're going to end up buying a lot of different looms and things like that. And obviously if you're crap at electronics like me, there is a bit of soldering involved. I managed it, so can you, because I'm an absolute shithouse when it comes to soldering, but I made it work. Other downsides, I was going to complain that on the day I got it, I noticed there's a bubble on the screen. So I was going to criticize it for its quality control, but I've just now, literally now, realized it comes with a clear screen protector on it, which is already peeling off. The screen is also quite glossy, and in France at the wrong angle, it was dazzling me and made the screen really hard to see. At times, mostly it's okay in bright sunshine, 2,300 nits. There is a matte screen protector that I've actually got from Chigee. I've just not put it on there yet, so I'm going to do that, and that will fix A, the bubble in the screen, and B, the reflective problem. I want it to just be like the dashboard on my Multi V4. It's nice and matte, so it never gets blown out by the sun, or rarely anyway. So yeah, negatives, price, 440 quid, 460 quid, whatever it is pretty punchy. Hopefully there'll be discount codes floating around, maybe in video descriptions below. And yeah, that's kind of Garmin Zumo money, isn't it? And are you going to spend 460 quid on a Chinese unit? To be fair, as I'll say in a minute, it feels really nice. So I would. It's not an advert, but it is really good. As I've mentioned, there are a bunch of things the Chigee AIO6 can do that I have not actually tested, but they do sound quite cool. So if you've got the cameras fitted, you can make it automatically and silently record if it detects vibrations, someone moving your bike. So as a kind of theft, well, not deterrent, but hopefully it can tell you if your bike's about to be taken by some scrotums. And it can also be used as a viewfinder for Insta360 cameras, which is quite cool. You can pair it to your Insta360 and check the shot from your screen while you're riding, which is quite useful. Chigee, can you speak to DJI and make it work with their cameras as well, please? That would be great. There's also a geofencing tracker thing as well, because obviously it knows where it is, and if it's hard locked onto your bike and no one can rip it off, it will tell you if your bike is being moved without you knowing. So other things, what it can do that are quite clever. It can't make me stop sweating though. So in short, this thing has become already a really vital addition to my touring arsenal. I'm really impressed by it. And actually, apart from that bubble in the screen, it feels so solid and rugged, and it's got this kind of fake carbon weave on the back. It does just feel like it's gonna go on forever. It doesn't feel like cheap Chinese tat. And yes, I know in the comments, Someone's going to say you can get exactly the same thing off AliExpress for 20 quid. I don't know, maybe you can, maybe you can't get exactly the same thing. But it's really well packaged. That's an odd thing to say. It comes with everything you need to wire it into your bike. It comes with lots of cable ties, the RAM mount thing, the wiring harness, obviously, and it comes with loads of little Torx head screwdrivers, because lots of the screws on it are the Torx head security screws. So yeah, when you get it through the door, it's in quite a nice little box and stuff. It feels like a proper alternative to the Garmin, and it has kind of forced me to change my thinking a little bit, because I've always been a bit of a stuck in the mud. No, I'm going to be an old man and use a sat nav, and now I've got this. Yeah, I'm sorry, Garmin, but I've liked your sat navs, I've relied on them, but this just opens up a world of other apps, and being able to use Google Maps is an absolute game changer. Garmin, it was always kind of a little bit fiddly to get an exact route into it. If you're not uploading a GPX and you had to use the device's on-screen controls to plan a curvy route, it took longer than it does to whip your phone out and force a few pins into Google Maps to take you onto the roads you want to do, put it in your pocket, and off you go. Garmin, it was always a do it over lunch on the Tread app. It was okay, but it felt like an old school company trying to do what Google Maps has been doing for years. But anyway, I'm going to carry on using the Chigee AIO6 for the next couple of years, really, as long as I've got this bike. I'm going to do a big tour using it in September as well for a week around Europe. If you've got any questions, drop them down below, because I am using it, and as I said, this is not an advert, so I'll tell you the good and the bad. Anything I've missed, let me know. Check down the description, I might have an affiliate code if you do want to get one, but I would heartily recommend it. I kind of wish I'd done it sooner, to be honest, and if you're okay at wiring stuff into your bike and you're not a complete klutz like me, then you'll be absolutely fine setting it up. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully this video has been sort of useful. I'll see you next time, when I'll probably actually be riding this thing and making some noise, maybe with my other half on the background France. It's going to be good. Goodbye. I'll say it's going to be good, it's going to be mediocre like all of my content. Sweeping corners of joy. Is that a real fear scream?